Hey traders, checking in on the stock market today after the long holiday weekend. So we had bears show up first thing, but bulls stepped in and defended hourly uptrends. And I'll show you what these hourly uptrends are going to tell us that will be key for tomorrow. So we headed into the start of today with a little bit of discrepancy between our futures charts, which had a lot more data from trading Sunday night and on Monday, and our ETFs, which obviously stopped trading on Friday. The bears showed up convincingly this morning. All of our major sectors were dropping. It was a notable drop, but we knew to be scouting higher lows on the 4-hour time frame for our futures charts and the hourly time frame for our ETFs. How did we know that an hourly and 4-hour higher low was the most likely scenario? We had a ton of space to work with. The bulls went straight up Friday, so that gave us anything over the low of Friday as an hourly higher low. So looking at it on the S&P 500, the 5-minute time frame, we can see this is the S&P 500 futures, all bear on the morning, 5-minute lower high, lower low, no bear follow through. But again, bigger picture, you zoom out and it was just a 4-hour higher low. So we're going to look a little bit into how today played out, and then we're going to look at what we're looking for tomorrow. So I personally didn't have a ton of clarity on the morning. I knew I'm scouting hourly higher lows. But as the morning progressed, I just got more and more clarity with all the time frames, how they traded relative to each other. And we got to the point where we hit the low of the day on QQQ. And we were looking for a bounce, which we got. We then knew to be scouting 15-minute lower high bearish entries because anything under the high of the day was a 15-minute lower high. After a notable pullback, we got them. We then knew to be scouting a 15-minute higher low. How did we know that? Because the bounce retracement size was over 50%, which favors, it was actually 70%. That favors an equilibrium as the more likely scenario. Okay, 15-minute tightening range. We then got a bull break. What does that tell us? That tells us our 4-hour higher lows are likely being set on the futures chart, and our hourly higher lows are likely being set on our ETFs. Very often you will see the 4-hour time frame on the futures charts doing the same thing trend-wise as the hourly on our ETFs. From there, we knew that there was a lot of distance to cover for the bulls to break the high of the weekend on these futures charts. So I was looking for the need to change the hourly trend. Well, you can't change the hourly trend by just going straight up. You have to consolidate. So I was then scouting for hourly consolidation. We had a 5-minute rising wedge show up. So, okay, I'm looking for hourly consolidation and we got a 5-minute rising wedge. I'm keeping an eye out for that to break bear, which we got into the end of the day. Long story short is I went from a little bit of clarity to start the morning and then just consistently increased clarity. And my best trades were between 10:30 and 2:30 p.m. And a lot of people like to trade in the first hour and a half and that's it. But there are days like today where the more time and the more data you get, the more clarity and confidence you can get as well. So in the end, we have a lot of individual names forming hourly equilibriums. And we know hourly uptrends are our guide on the bounce. That is all I care about into tomorrow. Can we maintain hourly higher lows? And looking at SPY, I am viewing this as low of Friday is a support level. Low of today was an hourly higher low compared to that level. End of the day, trying for another hourly higher low, but not convincing. But we are still in an hourly uptrend. So if the hourly uptrend is maintained through tomorrow, the bounce keeps going. If we lose the hourly uptrend, if we lose the hourly higher lows, daily consolidation is taking place. So that's it. I mean, look at IWM tightening. Well, actually, IWM broke bear. But we got Tesla hourly tightening range sideways and NIO sideways hourly range. NVDA sideways hourly range. Getting tight. Bear breaks, daily consolidation clearly underway. Bull breaks, we're not done yet. We're still bouncing. So that's what tomorrow is going to answer for us as far as the broader market is concerned. If we break bear, we zoom out and we scout a daily higher low. The observations that we are making, what does bear volume look like? What is the size of the retracement? What is the response to hourly oversold conditions? If hourly oversold marks the daily high or low and the bulls take back over again, that's going to be very notable for me as far as bull conviction and aggressive dip buying. If hourly oversold conditions leads to a bounce and a lower high and a lower low, that's going to be notable to me in terms of a lack of bull conviction. So first things first, it's all about the hourly. Do we start daily consolidation tomorrow? And SPY is showing us a bit of indecision at the top of this bull move, so it's definitely on the table to see the possibility of that daily consolidation start tomorrow. As far as the futures chart is concerned, what would that look like? We are either going to confirm the 4-hour downtrend into daily consolidation, we're going to break resistance into bounce continuation, or we're going to form a 4-hour tightening range, and tomorrow's going to be real boring. So we'll see tomorrow pre-market. I'll have a much better idea of which of those 3 scenarios it's going to be. But those are the only 3 ways that it's going to play out from where we stand right now. NASDAQ is the same thing. 4-hour high of the weekend is a ways away. If the bulls can change this hourly trend, we have a chance at seeing continuation on this bounce. If we cannot change this hourly trend back to the bulls, we don't have a chance. So that's going to be important for me overnight on these futures charts. SMH, hourly, tight and sideways. Higher lows intact. Low of today above the low of Friday. End of the day holding the low of today. So still an hourly uptrend. Bulls running out of a little bit of momentum, not seeing convincing follow through over the high of Friday, but they are still defending supports for the time being. If daily consolidation starts from here, we have to be cautious of a confirmed daily trend change for one day straight into daily consolidation, which would have us zoom out and be well aware if that's the top of the bounce, it is not very convincing as far as a longer term momentum shift. And actually, we got this. No, that's not even close to being in play. So never mind. NVDA, as I mentioned, the hourly tightening range. I did grab a longer term NVDA position Friday pre-market off of after the base of 155 is very clearly established. And that also had me shorting NVDA for day trades today as we set up bearish correlation after the morning. Unable to break the high of the day, great. I'll top fish that high of the day for the hourly lower high. So again, we'll be watching for daily consolidation. Is it going to happen tomorrow or not? We're going to get that answer. And then we're going to watch those details that I mentioned. Tesla, sideways on the hourly, tightening range, equilibrium. Failed to break the high of the day. Double top, but still an hourly uptrend at this point in time. I would love for it to stay in hourly equilibrium into the open tomorrow rather than gapping up or gapping down to give us levels to play off of. NIO is the same thing. We had a gap up open as Chinese names did well yesterday. Chinese market was up, so Baba, Baidu, NIO, all with gap up opens. Profit taking on NIO, 15-minute oversold bounce. Actually, Tesla was 15-minute oversold. Looks like NIO was not. Look at that. NIO bulls are buying these dips. Look at Friday morning. Dip in the morning, 5-minute oversold, V-shape to high of the day. Dip in the morning, 5-minute oversold today. V-shape, not a new high of the day, but certainly a very convincing, what's that, 5% bounce? And then at the end of the day, 5-minute oversold. That is what a bull wants to see. When we are in our strongest uptrends and blue sky breakout, in an uptrend on every time frame, that's how the market reacts to 5-minute oversold conditions. Obviously, we're not in that scenario, but this is exactly what a bull wants to see and wants it to keep up. Wants every 5-minute oversold condition to mark an hourly high or low. And for NIO, that is what has been happening the last 2 days. Hourly tightening range, if it breaks bull, we aren't done yet. We did confirm the daily trend change to the bulls today. Obviously not convincing follow through with the gap up and profit taking. If we lose the hourly uptrend, we'll scout a daily high or low, anything above 1409. But NIO is the example. Any individual name that you are bullish in, you want 5-minute oversold conditions to be met with that kind of dip buying. Financial sector started the morning extremely weak. but double bottom saved by the bulls by 2 pennies. We held the low of Friday, and that shifted the morning. After that hit, that was the start of bulls shifting to maintain hourly uptrends on SPY and QQQ and other places. So XLF, we got an hourly equilibrium here. If we're using extended hours, we got 36, the low, the lower high. Anything above 35.09 would be another higher low. So holding firm, but the healthcare sector was weaker, gave back a big green day Friday, broke the low of Friday. We did bounce as well, but daily consolidation is underway here. We know we're scouting a weekly lower high to be the result of this bounce. So keeping a close eye on XLV. Last, or I should say worst case scenario for the bulls, and this would have a notable impact on the broader market in my opinion, would be if we confirm a weekly head and shoulders and take out this base at the 123s. IWM did confirm that hourly downtrend into the end of the day, which is notable, relative weakness. So hourly downtrend confirmed. We're watching for the potential of daily consolidation to be underway. It's not officially underway. It's a daily inside bar. If it breaks bear, we scout the higher low. But again, this daily trend change is not doing anything in terms of the longer term weekly chart, and the weekly bear flag is still on the table. Bulls really don't want to start daily consolidation already, because that's going to increase some bear confidence for the potential of this bear flag. And growth names were weak today. Weaker. ARKK gave back a good bit of Friday's bull move. The daily chart certainly not very impressive. The biotech sector absolutely crushed. Triple top, 71.57. We rejected from that level by 19 cents. And then from that moment, bear correlation was massive. We were down over 4% at one point today. 5% drop from the high of the day. Bears are defending that resistance level significantly. Simple statement, if we do not get over 71.57, XBI is a weekly bear flag. So bulls struggling, and we've also got a bunch of space now where next time we bounce, it's possible we just set an hourly lower high. Anything under 70.22. So bulls not proving anything in the biotech sector yet. CGC did have my interest today. It's a potential falling wedge. I'm not putting a ton of weight into falling wedges in this sector because there's been so many during its drop that did not follow through. But we got an hourly equilibrium here for the last 2 days as well. So low of Friday's dump on bearish earnings reactions, high of the bounce. We held the low by 4 pennies. The bulls showed up for a 10% plus bounce. We rejected from resistance by 9 pennies. We ended up dropping for a 5% plus bounce. Great opportunity in both directions off very clear levels. And this tightening hourly range is likely to break tomorrow. If it breaks bull, doorbell. If it breaks bull, it's an inside bar bull break. We'll be watching 561 resistance still. But volatility is going to be coming here. And I like how it's been responding to these levels. I'll be right back. All right, on to the dollar. The dollar broke the 4-hour falling wedge that we were watching. Bullish. It just took an extra day. And it was this. So now the question is, now that we have the bull break, can we confirm the 4-hour trend change for daily bounce follow through? So the daily time frame right now, if we can't, it's going to be a very weak bounce with no follow through. If we do, we're still going to watch for a lower high, but this is bulls attempting to defend weekly EMA 12. And it's still a very strong weekly chart. So if we are going to see a sustained bounce in the broader market, in my opinion, one of the puzzle pieces, one of the little clues is we have to see the dollar lose the weekly uptrend. Now, if this is our high or low, we're either going to see continuation or a lower high and lower low. But broader market bulls certainly hope the weekly high or low is not set yet on the dollar. And without even a 4-hour uptrend, it's much too soon to say. But something to be keeping an eye on. With the dollar bounce, we've got metals weakness. The metals are weekly bear flags. The burden is on bulls to prove to us that they are not, which means we have to hold the low and break the high. Because we've already broken the low of last week after sideways trading. Silver broke it first. Silver was the 4-hour rising wedge. We were watching that in conjunction with the 4-hour falling wedge on the dollar. And I was actually watching it probably like that, where we broke bear, back tested and rejected a couple times, and then rolled over. Either way, weekly consolidation underway for both the metals and the miners. And we have to hold those lows. And again, it's the same thing. If the dollar bulls set this weekly higher low and shift momentum back in their favor, the metals and the miners are likely to head back to the recent lows. So it's important, more so for the metals than the broader market, just because the correlation has been more clearly inverse for me. Watch the dollar if you're watching the metals. Oil, big bull move to start the morning, but a lot of headlines out there and a big upper wick looking like a volume climax and a lot of space for a 4-hour lower high to be the result of the next bounce. If the bears are going to go on offense, we have to confirm a 4-hour downtrend. Then we would zoom out, keeping in mind anything above 108.61 is a daily higher low. So minimal red flags. It's still a very strong uptrend, but it's enough to get aggressive bears interested. And if you look at the energy sector, it sold off as well. Gap up open into a big amount of profit taking. Highest volume day in multiple weeks. A lot of space for an hourly lower high to be the result of the next bounce. That wick is from extended hours. I would ignore it. We're looking for an hourly lower high next bounce. Aggressive bears are scouting an hourly lower high to be looking for a bearish entry. And again, it's only the most aggressive bears because this is only the first tiny little sign of any top. It has a ton of follow through if we're going to have any confidence. I'm watching for a cycle shift where I'm looking for oil and natural gas to top out and the energy sector to all top out. But I know that could happen sometime over weeks or months. So I'm not in any kind of confident place to call a top. I made one attempt shorting energy that I stopped out of. But again, it's something I'm keeping an eye on, bigger picture. So that's in the back of my mind. And I always say, okay, a little bit of a climax day for the energy sector and some of these commodities. Can bears follow through? Can bears prove to us that there's any meaningful weakness here? Natural gas, consolidating on the daily. So weekly perspective, potentially shaping up some weekly consolidation. That low of last week is coming into play. That's all I want to talk about. I hope you had a good day and do some good things. See you tomorrow. We got Mama Duck showing up with 7 or 8 babies. The day after, 7 baby turkeys showed up. They've got 2 moms holding down. Swan couple's still around, but no babies for them yet. Or I guess geese, not swan. There's the goose. Reason number 47, not to mow your entire lawn. Baby turkeys need a place to nap.